Free money all around. You've got airdrops and quantitative easing back in full force, and therefore the crypto market is rallying. But the question many of you may have out there is it too late to get in? And is this rally going to be sustainable, or is it just going to be a massive bull trap? We've cleared some critical levels, and we will cover those on today's show. So without further ado, let's get straight into the show. And what I wanted to start off with is this tweet over here by 𝗏𝗏𝗏. He says, quantitative easing has started. The Federal Reserve has added 0.3 trillion, so $300 billion in assets to its balance sheet over the last week. Last and only time that they added a larger amount over a single week was 0.5 trillion, and that was shortly after COVID dip in March, and Bitcoin 15x'd within 12 months. Let's go. So there you have it. There's the chart of Bitcoin. That is when they initiated the stimulation back then. And pretty much look at what happened next. So I'm not sure whether we're going to get the exact same situation over here. But either way, it's great in the short term. In the long term, you're essentially kicking the can down the road. And we know where this ultimately leads. This could lead to some sort of hyperinflation as well in the US dollar, which is something you must be careful of. So Lark Davis also shows over here, breaking the money printing is back. 300 billion was added last week by the Fed. And this is their quantitative easing. If you look at that balance sheet over there, the Fed's balance sheet, you know all the efforts that they've been going through, right, with raising interest rates and reducing the balance sheet. These are the only two tools that the Fed have to try and curtail inflation. And they've pretty much evaporated almost half of their efforts. Around, let's say that's about 40% of their efforts have been evaporated in just 1 week, with a massive push up over there. Quantitative easing, pretty much putting money back onto the balance sheet. So it's quite a big deal over here. You have the US banks borrowing 164.8 billion from the Federal Reserve over the past week, which is a new record. And what you do need to know is, if any of you have ever heard of 𝗍𝗍𝗄𝗏 or any of these channels which basically show you how the Federal Reserve actually works and how the whole banking system actually works, you would know that you can actually times this number by 10, because usually for every dollar that they hold, they issue out another $10, those banks, or another $9. So if $1 equals $10, that means 164.8 billion borrowed equals more than that. That's going to be pretty much $1 trillion that's right over there. And that is why 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is sounding the alarm over here. He says here, the bit signal. How do you ring the fire alarm on the internet? How do you show it's not a false alarm? I'm putting up the bit signal, $1 million in Bitcoin to alert us to the stealth financial crisis. $1,000 per tweet for the best 1,000 tweets. Reply with your charts, graphs, stats, everything that he has here. Where are we? Stats, memes. Bring attention to what is happening, because the central bank, the banks, and the bank regulators have bankrupted all of us. They hid their insolvencies from you, the depositors, and they're about to print $2 trillion to hyperinflate the US dollar. In the digital age, this will happen very quickly. So buy Bitcoin now and get your coins off of exchanges. That's what he says over there. So he's basically saying that what they're doing now is going to lead to hyperinflation. And pretty much you want to buy Bitcoin, which is the ultimate hedge, limited supply of 21 million, and get that off into cold storage over there. So very interesting case that he outlines over here. You're welcome to go through to it and read through everything. And it is actually a serious concern. It is something that could become a real possibility in the future. But one thing that comes to my attention, I didn't have time to summarize it for you because I only found this tweet this morning. Remember, I wake up at 5 a.m. to start prepping these shows for you. So sometimes these shows have to carry on into tomorrow, and tomorrow's Saturday, so I'm not going to be able to show you. What you need to do is go back onto Medium, click on Arthur Hayes over here, and then what you want to do is you want to go and read this article over here called 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, he basically explains the case for how the US could essentially flip the script over here from hyperinflation into them actually still being the dominant currency via stifling Europe and their gas supply. And ultimately, they would force Europe's hand to sell their euros for US dollars so that they could buy oil from the US in US dollar denominated currency, therefore pushing up the dollar and maybe slowing or stopping that hyperinflation from happening. Very interesting article. And he wrote that a long time ago. That was already on the 3rd of March before all of this happened with the printing. And he said ultimately the US would be forced to print money when this actually plays out. So go read that article. Very, very interesting and worth the read. Now, as for Bitcoin and the price action over here, chart-wise, we've reached that key level, right? We've broken through it. We're now above the orange 200-week moving average. That is very, very important. I think people are like quite obsessive about it. What you'd want to see is you want to start seeing closes above here. As soon as you see multiple weekly closes above the 200-week moving average, that would be a strong sign because you're starting to establish an uptrend. I'm sure you can all see it very nicely. You have your lows over here. You have a big push up over here. You make a slightly higher high, higher low with a big, big reversal candle over there, springs back up, makes a new swing high. If you start to close over there, it will start to look really good. What I would like to see is I would actually like to see a close round about here, maybe a little bit higher on this candle, and then next week an expansive candle that goes up to that 30K region, hold over there, and then maybe you start to pull back. So it would look something like this. Then you can start to pull back from that 30K level and then retest maybe this 200-week moving average at a later stage as support. So keeping and holding above that 25K level, maybe you test 26K. That's the longer term perspective. That's kind of what I'm looking for. But obviously, this is an unbiased channel. We're not perma bulls or perma bears over here. We just realists that are looking for opportunity. So if you can appreciate that and you've learned a lot from this channel, make sure that you smash the like button. Josh is over here shouting at me again, smash a like, smash a like. So smash the like button and he'll be very happy. Okay, next. From the bear case, what would be bearish is, of course, if you start to pull back on this candle and start to close underneath that 25K level, so under the 200-week moving average, then things could potentially start to turn back around. But as long as you're closing above these candles on the left, and I've told you this yesterday, 24,300, it's A-okay, everything's fine. Come back down, reject, and close underneath that. Things can turn bearish very, very quickly. But at the moment, it looks like bulls have the edge right now, but we have to wait for the weekly close, right? Important. Okay, King G, Mr. Custom Suit over here, he says that $2 trillion Fed printing rumors, USDC peg is restored, Silicon Valley Bank is in the review, and CZ publicly said that he's going to buy $1 billion. And then you have new shiny coins on the horizon. That is, of course, the Arbitrum airdrop. We will get onto that later on in the show. And he says 6 months of low bullish sentiment, 4 months of very high bearish sentiment. And your favorite influencer is still telling you that we're going to 10K. So there we have it. This is basically saying we have the environment whereby prices can squeeze higher. And this is my belief and my opinion, at least, is that if we start to close above that 200-week moving average, especially if we close 2 weeks above there, what you'll probably see is you'll quickly see the narrative start to switch. It's such a psychological level that people are, as soon as you're above it, bullish, as soon as you're below it, bearish, and we're going to 10K. So once we start to get above that, people quickly start to change their bias and the narrative will switch. Then prices will probably push up around 30K. Usually things go higher than what one would usually expect. So once most of the bears start to capitulate, we probably get a tweet from 𝗿𝗏𝗄 again, and he'll say he was wrong. And maybe in that exact moment is when you start to pull back aggressively. So that's what you want to watch out for. You want to always think from a psychological perspective, what exactly are the masses thinking? And you want to start to become contrarian when more than 90% of the people think the same thing. Do more than 90% of the people right now, in your opinion, think that prices are going much, much higher? Do they think we're going to 30K, 40K? I don't think it's more than 90%. I think maybe it's about 30 to maximum 45%. I think most people from the polls that I've seen are still looking for new lows in both the stock market and crypto. And if the stock market goes to new lows, of course, crypto is going to go down with it. So I don't rule that out. I'm never somebody that believes that it's a certainty in trading. Everything is a game of probabilities, and the probability that we can go to 10K is still there. I just think that it's less of a probability than what it is that we're going to 30, 35K. Okay, next. Okay, Gaussian channel over here. The week will have a chance in 2 days and 18 hours to close with inside this band. Once you do that, again, I've said your next target next week would then become 28,441. You start to close above that, and you just move from level to level. Then your next week is you're targeting all the way up to 33,700. And we compared this from a fractal perspective to what happened all the way back in 2015. Let's quickly go back there and show you what happened. Okay, so here we have it. Prices came up here. Once you got back into the Gaussian channel and you started to close your weekly candles over there, you had an aggressive push up. You broke through, big push up, came back down, retested the EMAs. Over here, I have the 9 and the 18 EMA. That's just because these ones work really well, and holds on that, and then basically continues on up and then flips green. At that point, and a new bull market does begin. So if you look over here, you have a similarity, right? The similarity is you broke the lucid SAR. What is a lucid SAR? It's a stop and reversal indicator. SAR, SAR, stop and reversal. That's what it stands for. And then you have the EMAs. Look at the posture of those, how they crossed. Golden cross, crossed to the upside, broke the SAR, holds that, and pretty much it's off to the races. Let's see. Now, currently, what do we have? Same thing, right? So you have the break of the SAR. I told you guys, as soon as that happened, I knew in the market something has shifted. Here's your confirmation. You get the golden cross. Perfect pullback into here. Look at that candle. Rejects all the way down. Comes back towards the SAR, the stop and reversal indicator over here. Doesn't break it. Bounces from that level. Closes above all the EMAs. It's bullish. Like, that's super bullish. That's why pretty much I went in on this candle over here pretty heavily. Well, I went in near the bottom because I had a very easy invalidation, which wasn't just the SAR, but it was also the 200-day moving average. Easiest invalidation ever. Had no sweat going all in at this section, and that's my position. That's what I'm holding. Next. 4-day, I told you, watch. If the 4-day expands, this is what we said yesterday, if it expands above this level, this is kind of your breakout level. Essentially what's going on right now, this is a breakout. I mean, what else can you call it? You call a spade a spade. There it is. Strong horizontal resistance, price just aggressively pushed above. That's a breakout. As long as it closes here, the breakout is confirmed. You need that close above there to confirm the breakout. And then if you're super conservative, you are one of the most conservative people out there. Let's assume that this candle closes here and you want extra confirmation. You've cleared a key level. What extra confirmation would look like? Let's just pretend that this is your next candle. You'd want to see the next candle close above that candle, wherever that may be. Once that happens, boom, that's your signal. Time to be long, time to be fully long. At that point, you also have your cross between the low time frame, or at least the shorter moving averages, which is the MA3 as the yellow one. You have the MA9 as the green, and then you have the MA30, which is the purple one. Once you have those crossed and postured like this with price holding above, that is your signal that pretty much you want to be holding long positions as an investor looking for higher prices. Now, it's a very different story between Bitcoin and altcoins. Keep in mind that altcoins are getting absolutely smacked against Bitcoin right now. So I'm purely talking about Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts to turn over, you can imagine altcoins are going to get absolutely wrecked. Okay, stock market. Pretty simple. Here it is. We've mentioned before that ultimately we just range bound, right? Range bound, range bound, range bound. This is the range. The orange lines over here are your main range. So we bounced off of the mid-range. So you got the long downtrending trend line. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. We break out, push into the top of the range. We come down, we retest that. Come back down, retest it a second time, which also happens to be the mid-range. And currently, we are bouncing. It's not out of the woods yet. It's definitely, the stock market is not out of the woods yet. That's for sure. It needs to, basically, you need to leave this whole range to fully confirm that a different trend is taking place. So for now, it's, as I've said 100 times on this channel, 100 times, we're going through a transitionary consolidative phase in a range. And ultimately those ranges, because markets trend and markets range, usually you go into an uptrend, then you go into a downtrend, then you go into a range, then you go into an uptrend, downtrend, range. So what did we have? Uptrend, COVID lows all the way up to all-time highs. Downtrend, I'm saying that possibly we're coming to the end of that downtrend because the range is being established over here. So I hope that makes sense. Once you start to break above the 75% level over here of this range, you can target the top of the range. Once you clear successfully and hold multiple candles above the top of the range, you can say, well, successfully, this is a proper breakout, but we are not at that point yet, at least for the stock market. Okay, so treat it as a range until we leave the range. Next, the dollar. The dollar is coming back to its level. Pretty much same thing. We're treating this as a range of, pink box to pink box. Now you're targeting back down towards the key yearly level. If the quantitative easing continues and they really start to stimulate aggressively, I'm not exactly sure of the facts of how much they're releasing into the economy or how they're even injecting that money into the economy. I'm sure we'll find out more with some research. But if that happens, I would expect that this is ultimately going to break down. And then you know what that means. That means that crypto will rally more aggressively. If you do want to trade these assets, when I say these assets, I mean you want to trade things like stocks, bonds, you want to trade gold, any of that. Feel free to check this out over here. This is Prime XBT. There is a sign-up bonus. I think you get up to $7,000. In order to get the sign-up bonus, you will have to type your, you'll need to type it in. Where is it? Let's just see. Yeah, promo code. There we go. So you'll need to type in Kyle Doops over there, click activate, and you have to use my link. So I'm currently in a Bitcoin long over here. I am up. Mine's already activated, but that's what you would need to do. You click that, get the sign-up bonus, and then you can also use the copy trading. Copy trading, I am up 19.4%. These guys are trading things like, let's look at his stuff. King of price action. I think he's full, so you can't use him, but there's other ones. Here's what he's been trading. Euro USD, GDP, Bitcoin, a little bit of Bitcoin, S&P, AUD. So he trades mostly other things. Cool, next. Bitcoin dominance, absolutely face ripping towards the upside over here. Look at that. That is a super power move. So I'll be watching this as we get towards the range high. As always, let's just quickly get that off. As always, what you want to do is you always want to look to do your business when you get to the extremities, right? So what are the extremities? The extremities are, of course, the range low over here and the range high over here. So once the Bitcoin dominance starts to get up to this level over here, that's when you can seriously start considering moving some of your BTC position into altcoins. That is not financial advice. I think Bitcoin is pure and precious. So I'm not suggesting you do that with your HODL position, but consider from a trading perspective, flipping some of your, if you are long on Bitcoin, flipping some of those longs over here, potentially into altcoins if that starts to break down and you trade at level to level, right? Cool. Next. What else? Total. Total's still in the middle of nowhere. As long as it just holds this level and doesn't break down, I think it's okay. Can slowly grind up and then break back above. This is total 3. Total 2, let's see total 2. You'd imagine with Bitcoin dominance going up that these are not going to be doing too fantastic yet. Total 2, so Ethereum is obviously catching a bit more of a bid than what the other alts are because total 2 is pushing up towards that 606 billion level. That's kind of the level you want to clear. You want to see a breakout through the 606, hold above that, and then you can target ultimately the range high. So that is for total 2. Okay, liquidity. You can see over here, the liquidity is spiking. We want to see a bigger spike. We want this to really start to break out and hold above there to show there's a convincing shift in trend. Here you have the People's Bank of China. Histogram is continuing up, so that's a good thing. I'm on the 3-day candles over here. You can obviously drop it. Let's actually look on the daily what that looks like. Okay, histogram continues to the upside, so that is a good sign. And then over here, you have the major central bank assets. You can see all these little lines are starting also to pick up over there, and you want to see a lot of green, right? If you want to run like we had in January, where we went from 16K to, what did we go to? 16K to like 22. This is kind of what the picture should look like. So you can see small smidgets of green that are taking place over here. We really want to see this expanding. And based on the banks borrowing to get bailed out, ultimately, that's probably something that you should expect will take place over the coming weeks. Okay, that's what I'm watching over there. If you look at Renko, pretty much if it just holds here a little bit higher for a couple more hours, you'll have a confirmed closing green candle above here, meaning that you have a new swing pattern, right? So high, 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 low, new swing high, and a higher high. And then you can look to capitalize on the next pullback. Okay, that's that. Next. All right, altcoins. Let's go into a little bit of altcoins just very, very quickly, just so you can start mentally prepping yourself for in the event that obviously Bitcoin dominance reaches 50% and starts to come back, and the stimulus continues with the US markets, and therefore altcoins should catch a bid. What are good ones to look at? I agree with a lot of these. I haven't looked into all of them. So this is 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗃. Let's see how many followers he's got. 2,000. So a small alpha account, but I do agree with these. Loop is superior to Sol. Okay. Casper will outclass XRP. 100% agree with that. Ching is a decentralized BNB. Ching, never heard of it. So can't agree with that. Energy Web token will pull a dot. Agreed. I like it. MNW. Don't know. Never heard of it. What is this? Veracity will eat Theta. Okay, I think that's Veracity. Veracity is pretty decent. Rio will surprise haters. I've heard of Rio, but I'm not too familiar. Go and check these. Some of these coins are pretty good. Point of this showing this tweet is that you kind of want to focus on newer technology, right? Rather than going too heavy into Solana, rather consider taking some of that risk that you'd put into something like Solana and put it into Loop. This is not financial advice, and I'm not a financial advisor, 100% not. I'm just saying that from a technological standpoint, remember the new technologies, they go into price discovery. They don't really have any hype yet, and they have a dev team, sad to say, that are pretty poor, and they're going to be looking to capitalize on the next run, and they'll do what it takes to get that price up. Because this is just the nature of crypto. It's speculation, and this is ultimately how it works. Hopefully the Loop community don't come after me now. That was just an example. I'm not calling out Loop. Okay, next. Arbitrum. Arbitrum has consistently has 5 to 10 times the volume of Optimism. We know what happened with Optimism's chart, and 2 times the total value locked. And then he says, yeah, and people think ARB's fully diluted value will be lower than Optimism. So Arbitrum looks pretty good. Arbitrum does look like it could be good. And if you did get the airdrop, congratulations. If you didn't, you're going to have to buy it, right? We'll cover the charts once it does officially hit the market and we're able to buy the token. But what could the price be? Some of you may be wondering, what could the price be? So it looks like the general consensus is anywhere around $2, between like $1.50 and $2 is what it would launch at. So I know some people that got 10,000. That means that pretty much 10,000 tokens, you're looking at $15,000 to $20,000 off the bat. Now that may create sell pressure, right? So for a lot of people, that's free money. It is literally free money. If you didn't have to really do anything other than make a few swaps and interact with the chain, then yeah, you're gonna get a whole lot of money, right? And why would you not at least de-risk some of that? Which means there would be some selling pressure. So come up with a plan. If you have the tokens, come up with a plan. Do some research. Have a strategic plan on how much are you going to sell, how much are you going to keep, and if you have none, where are you going to buy? We'll cover that closer to the time when it's relevant. But yes, it's looking like at the moment 10 billion ARB tokens in total. And then he says, for argument's sake, let's say that ARB's initial fully diluted value is 2 times Optimism, which is very, if you look at the stats of what I just showed you, right? This is pretty conservative, 5 to 10 times the volume, 2 times the TVL. Therefore, that would make a token price of $2 is what you're looking at. Okay, so already there's OTC deals from people that have the airdrop where if they're willing to already sell their tokens, they're being offered $2 as an OTC over-the-counter deal. So that shows you that kind of that's like the floor price, right? You're looking at least $2 when this thing does launch. Okay. Here you got DeFi Maestro. Now, other ways that you can get exposure to the Arbitrum ecosystem is by looking at this tweet. I'll actually do the guy a solid and I'll like it. Please like the video as well. You see, I do the same. Anytime I watch someone's YouTube channel, by the way, or video, I always like it. I think, how can you not? I mean, it's free content. So like and retweet. Go and have a look at this guy's tweet over here if you want further detail. But he says, with the announcement of Arbitrum token comes the fun part. 56% of the supply goes to the community, 11.5% is airdrop to the users, 1.1% to the DAOs, and 43.4% is likely to be decided by governance to reward Arbitrum protocols. So let's break down the top contenders in terms of those protocols that you can look at. Okay, here's some of them. You can look at these. Taking the most obvious metric at play, which is the total value locked. If the governance does decide to reward the ARB emissions by total value lock, then the following protocols will be the main beneficiaries. So it's as simple as that, right? The governance will decide based on certain metrics. One of those metrics might be total value locked of other protocols within that ecosystem, and it will basically reward them in Arbitrum tokens. So the ones that are most likely to get is going to be GMX, Uniswap, Radiant, 𝗪𝗎, and then Stargate over here. So those are the most likely ones. So keep an eye out on that. And then suppose you're looking for the best bang for your buck in terms of TVL divided by the market cap, then your best bet is going to be ZYB. I don't know what that is. 𝗏𝗏. I know what 𝗏𝗏 is. Jones. Don't know Jones. Radiant. I don't know. I do know Radiant. And then 𝗏𝗏. I know 𝗏𝗏 as well. 𝗏𝗏 is like GMX. So those are the ones to get. I already have a bunch of these tokens because I have a dollar cost average plan. I literally shared the Excel spreadsheet with you guys. That Excel spreadsheet contains most of these tokens over here, which is why they've gone up in price. So feel free to go read through the rest of this. He goes into a bit more detail if you do want to get technical with regards to that idea. Also in other news, Ethereum developers have supposedly set a target date of April the 12th for its long-awaited Shanghai hard fork. So April the 12th, just mark it off. Price action tends to rally into these events. You can reevaluate once you get to April. Maybe it's going to sell off into the event. It's a sell the news event. Buy the rumor, sell the news. I don't know. Something definitely worth watching. But let's look at some of these altcoins over here. Okay, Bitcoin is really moving. There we go, live on the show. Do you remember yesterday I showed you this trade? And what did I say to you guys? I said, from a risk to reward perspective, there is the short trade. And I said to you, because I know there's bears, they're screaming from the mountaintops over here. And I said, fair, look, this is a neutral channel. I'm giving you the trade. And I specifically said, I am definitely not taking this trade. I am not wanting to short Bitcoin right now. And there it is. Look, you're about to get liquidated. Okay, I'm just kidding. You probably have a stop loss. So you're about to get stopped. And I thought this would happen. So look, let's just see how price unfolds. Ultimately, closing candles are more important than anything. You really want to see the candles close up here. My best case scenario would be this. I want to see this candle close round about here. And I would like to see price just consolidate. Remember yesterday I showed you potential for a bull flag, consolidation to form the flag, and then we can look at big breakout. I think that was a bit aggressive, that breakout. But yes, you get what I mean. That's basically what I am watching over there. Please let me know in the comments, did you short Bitcoin? Did you short Bitcoin? Tell me in the comments if you shorted Bitcoin. All right, I want to go through some of the altcoins. Let me just open my WhatsApp. I made some notes over here. Of coins that I was looking at, so I don't have to waste time. I'm just going to quickly look for them. All right, let's start. So these are coins that are kind of in the zone. They're not too bad. Where do I have more here? Okay, what is this one? Okay, ApeCoin. ApeCoin was one. Let's go to ApeCoin. Search for ApeCoin. Start from the bottom. I think that's how I charted these. Here we go, ApeCoin. So I just want to give you some perspective over here. These are coins that are coming off of their range lows. Either they've already deviated, like ApeCoin, big deviation over here. And these are just, I'm trying to help you guys. Obviously, if Bitcoin is going to rally, these are potential plays. So you got the big deviations over here. You got this as a potential, another deviation that's currently taking place. So then obviously what you want to do, right, is you wanted to defend pretty much whatever the most recent swing low was, which is this one over here. So stop goes below that. Stop goes below this level over here. There you go. That's your entry. You can obviously add once you break the trend line, hold that level, or you can just wait and just hold this level, and then you can rather have your stop underneath the previous lows, which is over here. And then you're looking to target up towards mid-range, hold that level, and then towards the range highs. So these are just to give you ideas. I'm not necessarily spoon-feeding you. I've told you before, I can spoon-feed you, but then you must go to the Discord. Discord is for spoon-feeding. The show is for ideas and rapid information that can help you with your trading. Okay, so that's ApeCoin. Next, what else did I have here? I have Superfarm. That was the next one. Superfarm's also coming off of the range low. There it is. Now, it's not on too many exchanges, so you're going to need to find an exchange that does have super farm. But as long as super farm holds over here, maybe it comes down again, maybe not. But if it does come down, kind of you're looking for something like that to hold and then up. There's a trade. Spot trade, leverage trade, you decide. It's up to you. Okay, next I have, what is the other one? Ocean. Ocean was the next one that I looked at. There we go, Ocean. Okay, Ocean is not coming off of the range lows. There was the range lows. Already had a massive move over here. It's not the greatest look that it had this swing low over here, broke back below the mid-range. But I would say that as long as it holds this level over here, then you could potentially target back towards the range high. But there's less risky ones out there. The other ones I've shown you so far are less risky. Okay, another one. This one was a good one, was RUNE. Here's RUNE. Let's go to RUNE. Okay, there's an example of RUNE. Same thing. You're looking at the deviation, right? Deviation, deviation. You want to break that trend line over there, coming back into the range. So deviating into the range low, hold the range low, target to mid-range, target back to the range high. So again, same thing. You have the choice. You can either aggressively enter over here and put a tight stop. Look, if it depends on how much you're committing to the position. You can either have your stop there, or you can be aggressive on leverage and have your stop under the previous daily lows over there, expecting that this is going to expand and break through that. You can re-add or just tighten your stops once it breaks, and then obviously up to the mid-range is what you're looking at. Okay, so that's that one over there. Next, what else did I have for you? I had, Dogecoin. Dogecoin was another one that I had for you. Where's Dogecoin? Where are you, sir? There we go. Okay, this one looks like it's already moving. So Dogecoin, same thing. Call it a spot play. But range low, lots of deviations. Look at that. Wow, what did Elon do? Did he do something here? What happened here? That was huge. October. Okay, came all the way back down. Same thing over here. Look at those candles. Look at the anatomy of those candles, showing reversal candlestick patterns over here. Reclaims, comes back down, retest that range low, holds that level. Pretty much you can probably be aggressive on your stop now and place it underneath that candle, looking for expansion up to the mid-range. So that's what I'm watching on that one. Let's see, what else do we have? All right, we have Arweave. Arweave was the other one. I know Josh likes his Arweave as well. He has Arweave, and then I think it was 𝗫𝗫 that was after that. He has Arweave. Arweave, you're looking same thing, reclaim of the range low. I'm only showing you the ones that are reclaiming their range low, meaning that they haven't really rallied very hard yet. So there you have it. And deviation, deviation, hold, and up. Okay, 𝗫𝗫. Same thing. There's 𝗫𝗫. You guys can see it. Do we have any other ones? Okay. Let me see if there's anything special for you on the Discord. This is Discord promotion week. You won't always get this alpha for free on YouTube. So let's quickly pull up the Discord. Okay, updates. Here we go. There's a whole bunch of updates over here. Some of this is from my team. Shout out to team member Mo. If you see bad English, it's because he's from Saudi Arabia. English is not his first language, but he helps me out with this. He's a top trader. He's looking at Bitcoin to break back into this channel, hold this channel over here, and pretty much it can continue on up its path to 28K. So check out the Discord over there. He's got trade setups over there. You'll probably notice the difference between my coins and his. Like, look, he puts in a lot more effort. He put a smiley face. I would never put a smiley face in there, but there you have a smiley face. So check that out, guys. All you need to do is click the link in the bio below. It will take you through to Discord. In order to get into Discord, you have to have one of my links to get into my private channel. It can either be NordVPN, BitGet, OKX, or Bybit. You get sign-up bonuses as well. We do as much as we can for you. Okay, trades that I've taken. Here they are. I've taken the 𝗫𝗫, Ape, Doge, DYDX, ETH/USDT, and RUNE. Those are my trades at the moment. I entered them this morning pretty much at the level that we're at right now. Let me know in the comments, are you in the Discord? Let me know in the comments if you're in the Discord. I see Nomad Dad says that it's my smiley face. I give you real smiles over here on YouTube. Okay, let's have a look over here at the quotes moving averages. So look, it was looking like a reversal candle over here. I did say that before, but I told you there's still a lot of room over here for the Fisher distance from the EMA, and I would like to see a more aggressive expansion because this is a rally that nobody believes, and they think that pretty much most people are scared, right? I would like to see this expand further. I would really like to see this one get aggressive above that 4.28 level. If it gets above that 4.28 level, maybe Bitcoin's at 28K, maybe it's at 32K. We need to reevaluate. Once we see the next key level get tagged, with the momentum oscillators overreaching, that's when I'll start to look to scale out of some positions. Otherwise, for now, I continue to hold my longs. And guys, I want to be very, very, very clear over here. I'm not telling you that you should go long on Bitcoin right now. I'm definitely not telling you that. Look, if you start to close over the range high at the moment, then you're getting a confirmed breakout. Then it's time to potentially go long. You need to keep in mind that I went fully long from 19,700. My risk profile and level is completely different to yours right now. I can take more aggressive plays. I can move some of my Bitcoin into altcoins, for example, to take these altcoin trades. And one of the reasons that I can do that is obviously because I've made a huge amount of profit on my Bitcoin positions alone already. So therefore, naturally, I'm taking on less risk as it is. So you need to always consider any trade that you're taking, consider your risk level. All right, let's go through one or two more things. We are almost done. Super Guppy continues to hold strong. It is green. Remember, this thing gives an average hit rate of, I think it's 83% with an average upside move of 171% once you do get green. Yes, this turned gray over here, and it is starting to look like this was a fake out. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Also, make sure, guys, if you do want to participate in the crypto school, Sheldon's crypto school, there's also a link in the description below for that. You're welcome to go through to his trading school, and you'll learn pretty much an introduction and basics of trading, as well as a couple of trading strategies. All right, range high, there it is. We've shown it clear as day. Hold above this for a couple of days, and then I would be saying to you, okay, now you can safely go long. At the moment, there's still a possibility, right, that this could be a deviation. So if this candle comes back down like this, deviation, stops above here, short, mid-range, short to range low. That's ultimately what we're talking about over here. That is still a possibility. We have to take it level to level, so be careful. Okay, Bitcoin over here on the daily, I wanted to show you with the funding rates. The funding rates are still negative. Can you believe it? We are yet to see positive funding rates, I think let's look at this. So pretty much this was the major dump that we had in May. Let's go back a bit further. I want to just show you this as an example. Okay, let's go, 2020. Look at how long the funding rates have been negative. So it's similar to what I taught you yesterday with regards to the ranges. You get your discount zone and then your at premium zone. So ultimately, you want to be buying when things are at discount. And I'm not saying buying on leverage because then you're going to get wrecked, but you want to ultimately look at this and say to yourself, well, look at the negative funding rates over here. These marked all the major bottoms. Anytime that price came into these levels, these were strong bottom signals over there, and we recently just had another one, yet funding rate is still negative, meaning that the majority of people are running short. Once this starts to flip aggressively positive like this is where your bull markets happen. This is where your bull markets happen, aggressively positive funding rates. We have not yet seen that. So therefore, I'm still feeling quite confident to hold the long side whilst people don't believe this rally. Okay, and then here you have the Byzantine General. He says this is purely a spot-driven run. By the way, there's no leverage pushing up. Open interest divided by market cap ratio keeps on collapsing. And that's just indicative of the state of the market at the moment. No one trusts the rally. They don't believe it. Okay, I just found out from Mo, he's not from Saudi. He just DM'd me. Mo, DM me, where are you from? Let's see if he responds. I think he's watching the show live. Let's see. Send me a message on WhatsApp. While I wait for his message to confirm exactly which country he's from, make sure you give the video a like, hit the bell notification, and subscribe to the channel. All the links are over here. Okay, Mo is typing to me at the moment. All the links are over here if you do want to sign up. He is Palestinian. He's Jordanian. He said Palestinian Jordanian. So I don't know which one it is. Maybe he lives on the border of the two. But Mo, we'll confirm this tomorrow and then we can chat again. Okay, guys, that's it from me. I hope you all have an absolutely stellar day. I will see you all on the next video, which is going to be on Monday. Have an absolutely fantastic one. Cheers for now.